Sounds fair thus far? Getting a little excited about the campaigns? Let's take this a notch higher, okay? So from 2015, we now shift to 2018. From Amazon, we shift to Uber. The next campaign that we're going to determine the business objective for is the campaign that Uber launched with Virat Kohli. Have a look at this campaign and then we'll discuss about it.
हर दिन लाखों लोग जुनून लिए बढ़ रहे हैं आगे और हर सफर में उनके साथ है उबर बढ़ते चले.
Alright, to figure out the business objective for this Uber campaign, once again we look at the growth equation to have our starting point. Average weight of consumption once again is an option that we can rule out conclusively. In the case of Uber, what does average weight of consumption means? It means consuming Uber more in every occasion, which means going more the distance than what you'd intended, which is obviously ridiculous, and that's not something that Uber can try to do, which means that their objective will either start from penetration or from frequency. So let's look at penetration first. Now, in the last example, we saw that there are two kinds of penetration campaigns. You can either be driving category penetration campaigns, which in this case would imply Uber is talking to users which have never used an app-based taxi solution before or are not using it currently at least, or brand penetration, which means that Uber is trying to woo away users from its competition, primarily Ola. Let's look at category penetration first. Is this campaign possibly a category penetration campaign? Well, what is the data that will prove or disprove this hypothesis? If for a moment we were to assume that this is really the business objective for Uber in this case, then they must be given some reasons for users to start using the app-based solutions before, just like Amazon did in the case of Aur Dikhao, where they said, look, choice is the reason that you should come on e-commerce. Is there a big reason that they are big functional reason that they are giving their users to stop using other transportation solutions and start using app-based taxi solutions? Something like pricing or convenience or anything like that? Let me show you what a category penetration campaign would look like in this category, and this is an Ola campaign from a little while before. Have a look.
As we all know, Mr. Parthasarthi completes 25 years today.
मोमेंटो.
चलो निकलो ओला मोबाइल ऐप पर कैब बुक करो, गाड़ी चूज करो, राइट नाउ पर क्लिक करो एंड जस्ट गो. डाउनलोड द ओला मोबाइल ऐप टुडे.
Right? Now what I was saying becomes absolutely clear. This is what category penetration looks like. Users are given a core reason why they should consume a category, and then obviously there's an interesting story to wrap that information up in.
Also, in addition to giving them a core reason to start using Ola, they also educate the consumer. As you can see, the advertisement has spent time on telling the consumer who has never used an app to book a taxi, how should they be going about it. It doesn't mean that every category penetration campaign should have education involved in it, but if there is education in the ad, then it is a strong proof for it to be category penetration.
So, not category penetration, let's come to brand penetration. Brand penetration means Uber is talking to users who don't use Uber, who use Ola, and Uber is trying to get them to switch. Once again, if Uber is trying to get users to switch from Ola, then you would imagine that in order for a campaign like this to actually succeed, they would have to give some rational reasons to users, right? It's not a fashion category that you can just talk emotional benefits here. There have to be some real rational reasons that they'd like to communicate. Like for example, if Uber could make a promise that, look, our drivers are much more courteous, perhaps they're more reliable, perhaps the waiting time is less, perhaps our cars are better, perhaps the pricing of our products are lower, then you could make a rational case that, look, these are the reasons why you should prefer Uber over Ola, and that's when you can clearly conclude that they're going after users who are not using Uber but are using Ola right now. But none of those reasons are really getting captured here. So it's a reasonable conclusion to make here that brand penetration is also not likely to be the core objective here.